Good evening. Uh, President Trump is commander of the US military, as you'll all know, and like all members of the US military, his medical fitness to serve is assessed from time to time. Wikileaks has obtained a top secret expert medical panel report on President Trump, which the US military felt obliged to have investigate President Trump's ability to be commander-in-chief. The panel consisted of an oncologist, a gerontologist, a psychiatrist, and the Army's senior medical officer, Nadia West. They're holding back this news for some time until after New Year. The actual content wasn't supposed to be published. Anyway, here goes the précis of it at the end. We, the undersigned, have all taken the Hippocratic Oath. We would not usually disclose medical information without a patient's permission to a third party. However, under the Goldwater principle, we are obliged to depart from our usual ethics. In this exceptional case, our duty to warn the public when the health of an individual is a danger to the public is paramount. We have examined President Trump individually, and all of us have read his medical files for the last 30 years. The President is 71 years of age. The Commander-in-Chief has been suffering mental degeneration for some considerable time. This is probably pre-Alzheimer's, from which his father also suffered, and the disease is hereditary. The President's duties are unduly onerous for a man who is so severely unwell. His treatment has been debilitating. The ongoing strain on his health has necessitated ever longer periods of recuperation. We regretfully arrive at the prognosis that he cannot distinguish fact from fantasy. A total breakdown in his mental health can only be a matter of months away. The President's mental faculties have been impaired for the last 3 years. He has not been in full command of his reason for over a year. The President's cognitive functions are incrementally diminished. His mental incapacity has become increasingly discernible. Lucidity has become ever more unusual for him. In point of fact, his frequent lapses in attention, his tendency to wander off, his inability to go up or down even one stair unaided, his forgetfulness, his impulsivity, and his lack of emotional self-control are all examples of this condition. This is senile dementia, and it is degenerative. Cognition will not return. The President's mental functions are ever more confused and obscure. He is becoming more mentally obtunded, and all of us agree with this diagnosis. It is our unhappy duty to conclude that the President is incapable of discharging his duties. There is no prospect of even a partial or a temporary recovery. He has permanently lost the capacity to carry out his office effectively. In consonance with this, we are required to ask how he can continue as Commander-in-Chief. It is imperative for his health that he has complete rest. It is our unanimous professional opinion that the President is medically unfit to continue in office. The President does not have the capability to continue in his office, nor is there the slenderest possibility that he shall ever regain such capability. He is unable to carry out his official duties. We are therefore morally and legally required to recommend that he be removed from office with immediate effect. The Supreme Court has read this judgment, and indeed their judgment is several pages long, but here is the summary they've written at the end. The Supreme Court has read the conclusion of the expert medical panel. There is no doubt for granting the veracity of the report. As the President is incapable of executing his duties, then as provided for by the Constitution, the Supreme Court is legally required to remove him from office. President Trump is forthwith declared to be deposed by reason of medical incapacity. He is hereby disbarred from seeking to regain his former office. That's the end of the quotation. However, the President has appealed and obtained an injunction to delay the implementation of the judgment. There is some possibility the Supreme Court will overturn this ruling, and that's all.